Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sailor Janta, and this is my Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper. We've now befriended 2 out of the 3 refugee ships, and we're just about working on befriending the 3rd as we continue to help them out. Feed cat. Oh, hey, I have 4 upgrade points. Oh, crikey, I had 3 already, huh? Okay, let's get ourselves to +2 on Intuit. I don't know if we'll be able. I don't know if there's enough quests even with the DLC. Not the. Well, yeah, the I don't know what to call this content. The update content or whatever. I don't know. Even with that, if there's enough to. We can actually do this now. Easily. Do this marginally faster. I don't know if there's enough to fully max your character out, but we can get close. Okay. Well, gotten somebody's attention now, hopefully. There's a loose crowd around the supplies you've unloaded and a tense mood brewing among them. You sit nearby on the edge of the shuttle's docking tunnel, resting. Further away, crews from Ember's Song continue their lives as usual, coming and going, trading, discussing. There's a quiet efficiency to the hub, set up as a common space for the swarm of small ships from Ember's Song that are part of the flotilla. Unlike Hearth or Steppe, there's no one capital ship for this moon's refugees, just a mass of individuals traveling in concert. We told Hearth we don't want their scraps, the jeering voice comes out of the small crowd nearby. You turn to see a gaunt, pale man wearing the industrial work gear you've seen many of the Song refugees wearing. You hear me? And these supplies are to help, man. He smirks. Oh, how noble of you. Coming out here to help us, singers. There's a rumble of anger around the crowd. We agreed to join the flotilla for joint protection. We did not agree to Ember's Hearth using the flotilla to secure their control of the moons. You realize Peter's addressing the crowd as much as he's addressing you. Yeah, I've obviously stepped into an internal political matter. With the cordon down, our crews are more than able to acquire what's needed from the eye. What is owed is restitution for keeping us restrained. He pats one of the crates you unloaded. What we need, we will take. Soul wants to cooperate, man. Soul is a farmer. Even the people of Song know he was simply the sole survivor of Hearth's leadership. His authority means nothing. Peter looks around the crowd. Hearth think they can buy us, but we remember the past. A rumble of agreement runs through the crowd. He smiles at them. Take the supplies if you wish, of course. We are not wasteful. Peter approaches you directly. The crowd tentatively moves forward, and by the time he reaches you, they're already dragging away crates and distributing the contents. I'm not one for shooting the messenger, Sleeper, says Peter as he approaches, but we cannot concede to Hearth here. Not for a moment. I don't understand, man. I mean, I can kind of. I guess you're the colonial types and they're the capital types, but I can see that. Peter sits beside you on the docking tunnel's lip. What was your plan, Sleeper? Unload the supplies and wait for someone to start throwing them back at you? He nods at the crowd rifling through the crates, because that's what was about to happen. So I should thank you? Peter bows a little. My pleasure. What do you think happened to the crew of this shuttle? He shakes his head. They were chased out of this place. How were they chased out without their shuttle? Seems like they would have left in the shuttle if they were chased out. Why do they hate Hearth? We, Peter says with emphasis, do not hate Hearth, and we simply do not trust them. Do you know anything about Ember's moon, Sleeper? Or are you planning to wander into this flotilla totally blind? An objective outsider offering help? He rolls his eyes. And then educate me, bro. He smiles. It would be my pleasure. Well, this is going to be a pile of anti-Hearth invective, clearly. I'm going to assume you know the basics. The gas giant Ember has 7 moons. The 3 biggest are Ember's Steppe, Ember's Song, and Ember's Heart. He winks. We can cover the 3 sisters next session. Steppe was the first to be settled. A contract old Solheim gave to the terraformer Sibyl Systems when they first claimed the Helion system. That's way back when. Steppe was a testing ground, and like most testing grounds, it didn't turn out too well. A partial atmosphere slowly sloughing off each orbit, a dysfunctional ecosystem, and a whole lot of dust-clogged settlers. The place is a miserable desert, long past its best before day. Yeah, I got that. So Sybil moved to Hearth, where they redoubled their efforts. The subsurface ocean and some balmy tidal heating helped, allowing them to build a real atmosphere. A real habitable world. The fact that the typical Hearth colonist won't ever let you forget. How did Sybil achieve such a thing, you might wonder? Well, that's where we come in. It's that same old rule of surrogacy, the one humanity built our universe around. Peter claps a hand to his chest in mock pride. Oh god, they took all the water from Song for Hearth, didn't they? My moon, Ember's Song, is a sulfur-soaked rock covered in volcanoes, tidally heated by its inner orbit to sweltering temperatures. Exactly the kind of crucible you need to fuel a terraforming project. Energy, industry, fuel. Song provided the raw materials for Hearth, Peter grimaces, willingly or not. And a crucible requires people to run it. Us singers born into a flaming pit and asked to stoke it so others might live in a paradise in the making. That's what we had to endure until Solheim brought everything down. Peter rattles off this speech from memory, and you wonder how many times he's delivered it. No Solheim, no contract, no Sybil, and no Sybil meant 3 moons suddenly independent. Peter shakes his head. It was a war, Sleeper. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold, and unsurprisingly, Hearth and Steppe came out of it better than us. It's actually a little surprising if you had most of the raw materials, but okay. Yet, Peter holds up a hand, they need us, Sleeper. Always have, and so we're the linchpin. We're the center around which the moons orbit, not swirling Ember. We've resisted takeovers, sieges, and expansions, and now we'll resist this. Half the people on these ships think the flux was caused by Hearth, intentionally or otherwise, and I have to say some cycles I agree. Before you come here to hand out supplies like a good soldier, maybe educate yourself. Yeah? And what does any bit of that matter worth a damn right now, Peter? Peter shakes his head. Do you forgive crimes against yourself so easily, Sleeper? Would you return to the bosom of SNARP if they sent someone to collect? Peter stares at the crowd. Don't presume to judge us. It sounds like it's been a while since this war, though, Peter. I want you to imagine what it's like to try to live on an airless, volcanic rock when every system that sustains you starts shutting down. He spits and wipes a sleeve across his mouth. We abandoned nothing. Some stayed, others left. But we will reclaim Ember as soon as the flux fades or ends. We've weathered worse. Hey, the flotilla should be united. Have you been listening? Peter's voice raises immediately. We don't want to be united, Sleeper. Being united by Hearth means living under them. I won't keep you from the docking axis, Sleeper. No one here has the authority for that. But watch yourself here. Try to remember the Eye is just another in the long list of people who've tried to control us. I get it, Peter, but you're wrong. Peter nods. Then let it guide your actions. Peter sighs. Look, we're many, and we have many needs. Ships come to this docking access for repairs, for requisitions, for friendship. You can provide these as well as any singer. If you want to help in your own name, Sleeper. Not in that of Hearth. Peter shakes his head. Carry that name here, and you will lose all trust. Be as we are, act in your own name alone. Peter puts a head on your shoulder and stands. I hope I didn't waste my time here, Sleeper. And with that he walks away, back to the shrinking crowd that's distributing the last of the supplies amongst the crews present. You watch them pass the food and water between them. No signs of conflict between the crews, just a careful distribution of resources. Peter chats with a few crews, each of them casting looks in your direction, ones that reveal little about the singer's intentions. You stand. It seems the tensions on the flotilla run much deeper than you expected. This won't be easy. Yeah, to be fair, nobody previously mentioned anything about them having actually been at war with each other, and that does definitely make some difference. Holy shit, they need a ship mine core. Or a mushroom farm. Well, or both. As Peter said, the singers will only trust you if you act independently of Hearth. Fulfilling supply requests is a good start. Those are some big asks, but actually not undoable, right? Or somewhere here I can buy a... Well, I can buy a complete ship mine, actually. Oh no, I can sell one, never mind. Oh, I can buy one. 240 fucking cryo. Crikey. I don't think there's anywhere else I can buy enough shards, though, right? No, I can sell fragments here. The only place I can buy fragments, I think, is Here, right? Yeah, pretty sure. Or I can randomly draw scrap from here in hopes of getting one, but not that likely. This is outright highway robbery and is a huge sum even with my minus 20% discount, but not really using the money on anything else, so yeah, okay, let's buy a complete goddamn ship mind core. Here you go, mate, you better use it. One of the Singer crews is looking for ship mind to replace their flux damaged core. Maybe you can help them acquire one? Done. Supplied the ship mind, but in a way it seemed to only make the crew more suspicious of you. Damn it, guys, you can't be mad at everyone who's trying to help you. Okay, fixed these guys' problems. You work inside a dust house, layering the internal walls with careful plating. The rattle of the dust becomes a comforting backdrop. The step silk's in the best condition it ever has been. The roots are strong, and the fibers thick. You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. The dust swirls, and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the step silk through the ochre haze. After all these cycles, you feel a strange connection to a world on which you've never set foot. Aki shifts from foot to foot. She seems restless, eager to speak, but unsure of what to say. The dust houses look good. Aki smiles at you warmly. They do. She pauses and turns back to the window. What is the value of all this? She asks suddenly. Of preserving a world we've left behind. Heritage. Aki is silent for a moment. Our practices, our lives, require the materials, the patterns the step provides. If those practices remain unchanged while the universe around them shifts, aren't they already dead? She pauses. What is better, to preserve at all costs or to allow things to be destroyed by change? Well, I do think it's a little deranged to go to this kind of effort to preserve plants from a dead world, especially considering we genetically engineered them pretty recently in the first place, but on the other hand, it's the only sample in existence, essentially, so might as well keep some of it alive. Aki paces away, lost in thought. I'm grateful to you for helping protect the dust houses, for ensuring their slide into decay is delayed, even averted. But now I find myself at an impasse. The stability of the dust houses changes things. It makes me aware of how blinkered we've been. Aki stops to look at you, her posture somehow different. If the ecosystems of Steppe, of its people, cannot grow to meet the future, why preserve it? She frowns. Are we just slaves to the preservation of what came before? No. You can change. Aki comes close, holds your hands in hers. We must change. We must change to live. She smiles. I've seen that in you. The Steppe, these people, this ship should serve more than heritage, than history. They should serve the future. She takes a breath. There are those in the flotilla that need clothes, that need food, that can benefit from the gifts of the Steppe's ecosystem. Yes, there are. And honestly, there's not really... I mean, I say this as literally a history major, but there's not much history can do for you if you're not using it to look towards the future in some fashion, you know? Although it's fun, but... I want you to invite them. Can you do that for me? Of course. I know that Soul sent you. She smiles. You can tell him Aki, captain of the Wind's Long Shadow, invites all the people of the flotilla to come. You've been the captain this whole time? She smiles. You never asked. Aki steps away. You want to know about the flux, no? About its purposes, its origins? She smiles. You wish to protect your home as we could not. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell you. It's an exotic wave of sorts, an energy that passes through matter. It shifts the very charged particles which run through our electrical systems. It's possible to shield against it as you would radiation, as we've done with the dust houses, but only while it's weak. The flux event here was much like the first ones we felt on Ember Steppe. Localized, destructive, but bearable. But in time its strength grew. I don't know if it will be the same here, but... She pauses. It's coming from the center of the system, from the close orbit of Helion's star, H1. That's all we could uncover. She's silent for a moment, unsure of what to add. I'm sorry I cannot offer more, but you're always welcome on this ship. She smiles. I hope I'll see you when the others come. She squeezes both your hands. I hope this ship, These dust houses can be more than a museum. I hope they can be a home. With this, she turns and leaves, and you feel that word, home, resonating within you like a struck bell. Okay. Hey, soul. Okay, no, I can't really tell him personally, but he should get the idea. Okay, now I just need some seeds, which should be, or spores, which should be trivial, so. And cycle. Feed cat. And long before the side reel is finished. Not that I intend to leave, but I need to know. 2 more cycles. Okay. Let's buy some fungus while we're here, although I could make some for free. In fact, maybe that's what I should do. I haven't exactly mastered the art of cooking mushrooms, but a couple of handfuls of fried gyros always beat expired rations. Mushrooms release the liquid as they cook, making for a fragrant and delicious dish. Realistically, that's a lot. Getting 2 gyro caps, I'm pretty sure, is significantly more actions than just what it would take to get 12 cryo to pay Emphis, but whatever. Oh. Right now, I need to go on a dive into the mushroom groves. Get ourselves some spores. Yes, sir. There we go. And here's your spores. One of the ships is trying to establish a mushroom farm to help feed the crews. They're looking for spores to get them started. There are your spores. The spores have been seeded, and while some may be suspicious of your efforts, crew by crew you'll convince them. Well, singers, how you feel? As you cross the axis looking for a shuttle to take you back to the ruined cordon, you spot Peter standing at the edge of the central hub. Something about the way he's leaning against the rail, looking down across the axis and towards the blinking lights of the flotilla beyond, makes you pause. He's completely still, his head drooping low and his shoulders hunched high. We never got anything by leaving people alone when they were in emotional crisis. You lean on the railing a little way from Peter, leaving a gap between you. This close, you can see the blank stare in his eyes, the way his hands hang limply in front of him. It takes a minute to notice you. Sleeper, he inhales sharply. Still hanging around? I'm just trying to be useful. Peter smiles, a tight smile, but doesn't turn to face you. Isn't that a sleeper thing, needing to be useful? More of a me thing, I think. Would make sense. Peter closes his eyes. Tools need to be used. And what's up with you, bro? Peter stands back from the railing. Who invited you, Sleeper? Who said you could come here? You think because the Harthers decided to name you their errand boy we have to put up with you? What the hell is this mood about, Peter? We don't want you here. We don't need you. His eyes burn with rage. Go home, you stupid machine! A second after he shouts that final line, he collapses in on himself, staying upright, but all the energy going out of his body. Apparently I've hit his pride pretty badly. But also, fuck you, Peter, you asshole. He slumps back against the railing, his eyes closed once more. You wait. After a while, he speaks. I'm tired, Sleeper. Tired of everything. I'm tired of the empty paternalism of Hearth. I'm tired of the paranoid whining of the crews. I'm tired of endless cycles that look the same, smell the same, feel the same. I'm tired of running, of hiding, of fixing every shitty thing that breaks out here. His shout echoes a little in the hub, but few stop to look. He looks down at his feet. Man, can I say all 3 of these things? Man, I get it, everyone is tired, but don't take it out on me. I get it. Peter nods. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He sighs. Something is... I don't feel okay. Just tired, I think. Really tired. He stands. I'm gonna go. He looks at you and sniffs. Get some sleep. Sleep well, Peter. Peter nods slowly, through turning away. He raises a hand, drifts away towards the center of the hub. You turn back to the railing, not wanting to watch him go. Seeing him like this, you prefer not to stare. The traffic at the axis rumbles on as you watch under an endlessly shining sun. The same air recycled through all these lungs, the same dust gathering speck by speck on the windows. You take a sharp breath, stand straight, and get moving, before the inertia of it all gets to you, too. Huh. That didn't really feel like progress, but, okay. The more work you do for the singers, the more you get to know the crews, the more they'll trust you. And crew socializing, the Axis is as much a social hub as it is a supply hub. Keeping good relations with the crews will help them trust your work. Or job board. The Axis houses an overflowing job board of engineering tasks requested by the crews. You can help out here. Yeah, let's do that. You take a handful of jobs and work through them, sharing tips and chatting with the crews. You can feel them warming to you. Yeah, well, that's literally all we have to do at this point, so we'll get through it pretty fast. Let's take some more stabilizer. And... oh no, wait, that's in the morning I've been doing that. Okay, what the hell kind of a set of rolls? Damn it. Alright, well, we'll just do what we can. Fortunately, we have +2 in engineering, so we should be pretty okay anyway. Plus, and some scrap. Plus, no, just plus. Oh well. Oh, that's a much better reroll. Okay, we'll have this finished now, I think. Plus, and plus. Okay. Sleeper! Peter calls to you as you cross the axis. He's standing by the same railing as you saw him at last time, and he beckons you over. I've been hearing things. He gives you a sidelong look. Good things? Peter smiles. Mostly. He rubs his hands together nervously. You wait for him to speak. You know, on song, I was a teacher. He glances at you, anticipating a response. Really? Peter sighs. Don't sound so surprised. You're a little gruff, buddy. Mechanical engineering. It's an essential subject on a moon where a single mechanical failure could mean the deaths of hundreds. He looks at the ground. The heat, the atmosphere, the radiation, all of it is hostile to us. My students knew this. Their work, their training was respected. As long as they were careful and respected sewing themselves, they could have their choice of colony replacements. They were always in demand. The man I was respected, surrounded by friends and colleagues, always able to call in favors and repay them like for like. He frowns. Song colonies are small, close-knit. We look after our own. When the flux events started hitting, colonies went dark overnight. We all knew what those kinds of failures meant. Like always, we lost more people than any of the other moons. He balls his hands into tight fists. Not a single one of my students left Song. Our future was cut off, just like that. My future. He flexes his hands. What am I out here? What use am I? Song is a fading memory, and the systems we built there are useless outside its orbit. How am I supposed to move on from here? He looks at you, eyes steely gray and glinting. Find someone else to teach, man. Peter pauses, thinking. You don't give up, do you, Sleeper? You just keep going. Peter shakes his head. You remind me of a student of mine. Wanted to enter the program from one of the smaller colonies. They didn't have the advantages of some of the others, but they were stubborn. Stubborn as hell. By the end of the program, they were the most skilled of their peers. They didn't get the best assignment, maybe because they didn't spend much time making the kind of connections that would help you get there. But that didn't matter, because I knew they would make the best of anything they set themselves to do. Peter's smiling now, buoyed up a little by memory. Singers are stubborn, Sleeper. We aren't going to change easily. We won't forgive easily or take help easily. But we'll hold strong. You can count on us for that. Peter stands from the railing. When you see Sol again, you can tell him that. You can tell him how the crews of Ember's song operate. Tell him we will resist. If that means resisting Hearth's imperialist ambitions, so be it. If it means resisting the flux, so be it. And if it means to, as you have, help others resist those same pressures, so be it. Peter smiles. And then, tell him to leave us alone. He turns, his step lighter, and heads off towards the center of the Axis hub. think that's as much as I'm gonna get from him. Soul, I've fixed your issues. Fat lot of good you did about them. When you arrive at the bridge of the Pilgrim Seed, Soul is waiting for you. You wouldn't believe the messages that have come through in the past few cycles, Sleeper. He smiles. The ship from Steppe has sent a goodwill gesture, a whole cache of supplies from their own farms. He smiles. I'm not sure how we'll use them, but the gesture is a welcome one. Song, meanwhile, are apparently accepting supplies again, although a little reticently, if I may say so. Soul smiles. I don't expect them to change anytime soon, it should be said. And what I'm wondering, the Sleeper, is what part you had in all this. Soul eyes you, waiting for an answer. I helped where I could. I've come to expect that of you, Sleeper. He smiles. You look at Soul, his eyes bright and eager, and wonder what he sees in you. Are you a tool to be used or an ally? It could be hard to tell. I want to show you something. Soul squeezes your shoulder, turning you to face the lift. He leads you along the axis of the ship towards the engines, the clanking of his suit accompanied by the constant hammering and welding that fills the echoey bulkheads of the Pilgrim Seed at all hours. With the cordon lifted and shuttles able to go out to salvage scrap and barter for supplies, the ship's become a place of transformation, moving towards some state yet to be revealed to you. You look at Soul. What is his plan here? What is he preparing the Pilgrim Seed for? Or are his sharp eyes simply focused on making it through the next cycle? Suddenly, Soul stops in front of a huge bulkhead door like the seal on the front of a dry dock hangar. He signals to someone in a cabin high up attached to the wall, and they begin the process of opening it up. The Pilgrim Seed was built as a short-range freight carrier, you know. The amber warning lights on the bulkhead door send spinning shadows across Soul's face. We built it to ship the entire harvest from thousands of farms to the silos at Passero. Are you about to show me that you stole the weapons, Soul? When we realized we'd need to leave, it was the biggest ship we could muster. Soul raps on a metal plate. And somehow, she's carried us all the way out here. You led the evacuation? Me? He laughs. Not even close. I was a farmer, had a whole load of land and people to run it, and my people helped convert this place for the long trip. He looks at his feet. Others led, organized the evacuation, and debated the plan. What happened to them? Not one of those folks made it. Soul rubs his forehead. We were out in the black a long time before we got here, Sleeper. Things happen. The upshot is I was chosen to take over. I guess my crew trusted me and I knew the ship. I argued, reminded them I'm no leader and that I'm sick, but well, when service chooses you. A loud klaxon sounds, indicating the bulkhead doors are ready to open. They groan as they slide back, the metal squeals echoing through the vast ship, bouncing off its hard-plated walls. At first all you see is darkness, then the lights go on in huge strips that stretch back and back as far as you can see. The space in front of you, a vast bay bigger than any you've ever seen, is empty. When we left Hearth, we didn't have the time or resources to convert the entire ship. Soul begins leading you into the massive space. So much of the freight space we sealed away, shut down. But now, we have time, we have resources. We stabilized here, at least for the moment. Soul turns to you. Now is the time to make use of all this. How can you use this? What do you think happens next for the Eye, Sleeper? Soul sighs. The flux has already hit one part of the station. From what I know, it'll hit again. On Hearth, we lost everything. There isn't much time, Sleeper, but there's enough time to do something. Think of the number of people we can fit on here. The farming stacks, the housing. Hell, we can plant some of those mushrooms you love so much. This is the way forward. The only way. We need to fill this ship with able bodies and head for the starward belt. Thought the Eye was your destination. It was until the flux hit here. Now it's just another stop. I'm glad of the chance to resupply and salvage, but we need to go further out. I want you to help me. You know the Eye? You have connections and you can work hard. I've seen it. Soul meets your Eye. I know you're like me, Sleeper. You didn't choose service, but it chose you. There are other ways, man. If you know them, go ahead. But I'm telling you, this is the opportunity we have now. I know it's a lot to think about, Sleeper. Trust me. Soul begins to lead you back out of the bay. But think of what we can do here. The flotilla can't last forever. We need more than just farmers to make this work. We need to build a new world for ourselves. I've heard that out there in the belt there are people who've been setting up since the collapse, making something of their own. That's our future, tucked away in those rocks far from all this. Soul sighs. I didn't bring my people here just to let them die somewhere new. Soul crosses back over to the threshold of the bay and signals for the operator to close it up. The door groans and Soul waits for it to stop. Think about it, Sleeper. Soul claps an arm on your back. But don't wait too long. This is happening soon. And he leaves you there in the silence of this vast bay, your head spinning with the thought of leaving the Eye. How is this happening soon, though? I mean, once more and more flux events hit, maybe, but... Oh, second part is complete. Final episode, Purge, is about to begin. I don't know who we should present the data to. That does scare me a little. I'm gonna save points for in hopes of getting it for... also don't know what I'm gonna do with my data tomorrow. Just hack a bunch of stuff, or harvest the mushroom farm, maybe? Or, I mean, my actions tomorrow. I don't know who's better to... I trust Sol more, I think, but I don't actually distrust Helene that much. Why the hell is this even a choice? Honestly, the only rational thing to do is to send it to both of them. I'm gonna maintain that. They both have a pretty clear need to know, so... If we could just send the data, I mean, there's no reason it has to only go to one of them. Oh well, we'll figure it out. But that's gonna be for next time, then. For now, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And tune in next time for episode 3, The Purge. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.